welcome back to Radiant Damage Podcast. It is I, Paladin Ashley.
and me, Cleric Alyssa.
Perfect, nailed it. And we have also joining us, Paladin Harley. I didn't know if you wanted to do dramatic.
Sorry.
I was going to give you...
Old man kicked in. Your brain farted.
No, it's cool. The gallant, the gallant, and the creative.
Better give yourself awesomeness or something.
The awesomeness.
Hey.
I think I have a name.
She fights my nemesis, low self-esteem. She fought it away. Get out of here, shoulder goblins.
Yeah, get out of here.
Perfect. Nailed that intro. We're doing great. Okay, so we've got a couple of things we wanted to talk about today. In the, basically the realm of geekdom. That's my dog. I'm sorry. He's very floopy. He has floopy ears. So in the realm of geekdom, there are a couple things that have gone on recently. We have a list, and I'm going to use the power of memory to try to remember everything. But I remember actually
just to help keep track.
Yeah, I actually have it in our chat logs since we were talking about this. So the most recent one, I'm going to save that for the end because yikes, that's a big one. That's a big one. So we were talking about the Mulan trailer, the new Mulan trailer, and we were talking about, yes, Birds of Prey. I do want to give my opinion on that because I saw it with my husband. So Birds of Prey, Mulan trailer, Warcraft 3 had a really fun oops, which I might talk about.
I want to hear about that because I haven't gotten to hear about it.
Awesome. So which do you guys want to go over first? We've got our Birds of Prey. I can give you guys a spoiler-free review. Harley, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I will keep spoilers to myself. I promise.
I feel like it might be good to start with the Birds of Prey because I feel like it's fresh in your memory, so it makes good to start with that.
That makes sense. Okay. I did not wear pigtails today. I was thinking about it, but I was like, that's a lot of work for me. Like, it's just like
no Brooklyn accent either. You're really holding back.
I know. I actually just dressed like a normal person today. I mean, I'm a little bit more formal than I guess most normal people dress, but that's just my style. So, business casual in this house. Anyway, Birds of Prey was awesome. I would say I would give it a solid. I'm a huge Harley fan, so that's an extra 0.5 points from me, but 7.5. I'd say 7.5 out of 10. Not bad. I would say that's like a C+. Right?
Mm-hmm.
C+.
That feels about right.
Yeah.
It's still a passing grade.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I loved it.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It had a blast in it. The choreography, the fight scenes were fantastic. Really, really unexpected. Like that was probably something that like was really unexpected, like a nice surprise. So the choreography was amazing. The violence actually was pretty minimal. Like, yeah, there were broken bones, but there was one violent scene, I won't spoil it, but it was, something that the villain did, and it's kind of like his thing that he does. He uses his henchman Zaz to do this to people, and so I would recommend, if you are squeamish, to not look at the screen during a certain scene where the villain is being torturous. So just to not do it, and just save yourself that. Otherwise, honestly, not very much, not nearly as much violence as I was expecting. Definitely some strong language, but whatever, it's an R-rated movie. So, but yeah, Harley was fantastic. Margot Robbie really does a great job with that character. Definitely I feel that it was a must-see. It has like some really strong feminist themes, which if that's also something that you're squeamish about, this is not a movie for you.
Maybe fix that and then we'll see. Sorry.
Fix it first. Fix yourself and then enjoy the movie. Yeah, but no, for real. It was definitely a really great girl power movie. I loved it. I loved Huntress so much. It was so precious. Oh my god, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but oh, you're gonna love her. You're gonna love her. You're
I'm
gonna
all
love
in on the Mary Elizabeth Winstead train, so
Oh,
yeah, you got me.
I
That
love everything she does. I just like she just has the most precious face. And like secretly very sweet, I think, as a character. So I think surprisingly sweet as a character. So you don't expect it from Huntress, but I think the way she played her is very, very cool. I loved Canary so much. Oh my god, so cool. One of my favorite parts of the movie involves Canary. Again, don't want to spoil anything. I have to say that out loud during my spoiler-free reviews. Please excuse me. But I have to
As
say
a self-reminder.
exactly, as a self-reminder. I'm like, don't say it.
Stop.
Stop yourself. So
Stop
showing
your
the very
spoiler.
possible. Yeah, exactly. I loved Bruce, her hyena. Oh my god. So cute, so
I'm
fun.
really glad they added that.
Yes, I think Ewan McGregor did an amazing job as Black Mask. I honestly really liked his take on the character. Some surprising aspects of that also that I'm sure you'll pick up on when you see the movie. I actually didn't, and I feel super oblivious, but my husband picked up on it and told me. So anyway, definitely go see it. It's incredibly fun. It's not meant to be a film. It's not meant to be that kind of a movie. It's meant to be entertaining. It's supposed to be crazy. The movie is narrated. I do want to let people know that. It's narrated by Harley because essentially since it's from her perspective, it's crazy. Sometimes it's not linear in the story progression. And so because of that, and it's because she's schizophrenic, she's a crazy person, you know, so if it's going to be narrated by her, if it's going to be by her perspective, you know, then it's going to be a little choppy and crazy in parts. That's okay with me. I was able to get with it. They didn't lose me. So that's what matters. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so anyway, 7.5 out of 10. I'd say normally people would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Still a really good grade, I think. Definitely a must see in theaters because the music, the soundtrack is fantastic. So anyway, that's my review. Spoiler free. Hey, I did it. And anyway, do you guys have any thoughts on what you've seen from the trailers? What you're anticipating? Do you have any idea?
I like because I learned a lot about movies from like memes on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked how I think it was less about the story, to be fair, and more about how they shot her, the outfits they gave her, and comparing it to Suicide Squad, because in Suicide Squad, where I understand it, she's very sexualized, but it makes sense for her character, so I wasn't too bothered by it because I get that that's kind of like a part. I could see that being her thing. Yeah. So I understood it, so it didn't bother me as it usually does. Still a little bit.
Yes.
But it was nice that they took that moment because she's like just went through a breakup. And it is a little cliche, but it does make sense that girls change their hairstyle after a breakup. That's just the thing.
Oh,
that is
a thing.
Yeah, it's a cliche because it's true. And I liked how they explained how the pigtails are shorter and not as an example of what to pull in that kind of way. It looks like she dressed herself instead of was dressed up.
She totally did.
And about a whole bunch of other things about like in stills where the camera is focused on her face,
not her boobs.
Not her boobs. The center that's her face instead of the center being chest.
Because it was directed by a woman.
Yeah, and it's just like you can kind of start to tell when it's directed by, and it's like that.
Difference.
Yeah,
it's a little more easy to sit through as a lady, being like, "Hey, you're a person. That's cool. It's cool that you're being shot as a person. That's
cool
nice.
That you're being conveyed as a human, not just a beat.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was fantastic. Do you have any thoughts, Harley? Maybe similar.
Really looking forward to it. I did add the soundtrack to my Spotify yesterday, so it's really good. So
good.
I'll check that. Soundtrack's really good.
Really good. Yeah. If you can find it on Spotify, I do recommend anybody looking it up if you want kind of preview without spoilers of what the movie is kind of like. Most of the best songs are during action scenes, and it's very appropriate. If you notice, also, all of the songs are, I believe, about women. I believe there's a feminist theme running through the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a theme running through all the music in the. It's very apparent.
Canary, the woman they picked to play Canary, her voice, like singing. I'm talking about singing because that's like her thing, right? Like you saw the trailers. She's in a club. She's singing, right? So she sang that herself. That actress sang that herself, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be blown away by her voice. Is really, really, she's incredibly talented.
Nice.
I will go ahead and say I have. My husband agreed with me, so I don't know that this is actually a spoiler, but this is my opinion on something that happened in the movie. It would be a very minor spoiler in terms of it's something that happens that I interpreted in a certain way. So it's incredibly minor. So if you'd like to not hear it, totally understand. Okay. So there's a split second in the movie when Huntress and Harley are during an action scene, and Harley looks at Huntress, and I swear I feel like she had a crush on her. So I really do feel like that's my interpretation from a little bit of the music. So I was like, oh, and they do definitely highlight that she is bisexual in the beginning. When they are going through her history, they go through her exes. One of them is a woman. So I just want anyone who's bothered by that, again, like, maybe like check yourself. Anyways, but that's the character. Okay, she is bisexual. Be aware of that going into the movie. Don't be afraid. They're everywhere.
That's nice to know.
No, sorry, this character who's been around for almost 30 years now has range, or is a character, has multiple people she interacts with constantly.
Yes, exactly. No, it's really interesting.
It's really hot, so yeah, other hot people are gonna want to date you. It's kind of how it works.
That's absolutely true. That's a very good point. Very well said, Harley. I love it. And there's also there was a point that was made by Margot about Harley, is that she, Margot Robbie does interpret the character as schizophrenic, and one of the voices that she genuinely hears is her doctor self. Dr. Harleen Quinzel is one of her voices. So whenever she goes off suddenly on a tangent, or if she suddenly diagnoses someone, and that's her kind of paying homage to that, is that she is still a doctor inside. She went to medical school. I mean, she got her degree, so she got her PhD. Medical school, sorry, probably not, but she did get her PhD. Yeah. So yeah.
We are not a medical podcast.
Yes, we totally should be. That's for clerical listeners. She's for cleric. She can say.
But you have cleric, right?
I don't like seeing blood.
So, I don't either, or bones.
This is why I can't be a nurse or a doctor. Like, I love taking care of people, but not that much. Like, not their bodies.
We're emotional health.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. I think more the kind of PhD that Harley has, I can get behind that. But anyway, so any other thoughts on Birds of Prey? Anything you're super excited about? Any characters that you're really excited about seeing?
I'm just looking forward to seeing Margot Robbie being Harley more, and getting her. I like seeing the hyena actually the most. I think because that's really cool that they were able to put that in.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Bruce. Oh my God, he's so precious. How about you, Paladin and Harley? Do you have any extra thoughts on what you've seen in the trailers, or anything you're excited about?
Looks great, as far as I can tell. Still excited to see it. Hopefully, I'll see it probably sometime this week. Hopefully.
Oh, it'd be really cool to do a spoiler review with y'all. I'm just saying that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah.
If you want to see it this week, it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I'm just saying. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to who has seen the Mulan trailer, the new Mulan trailer, where it's more action-packed.
It's the only one I've missed. It's the only one I didn't watch of the Super Bowl crazy, all the trailers. That's the one I missed. I've heard descriptions of it, but I haven't actually seen it.
Commercials. That's so fun. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yes. No. There was a really good preview for Marvel on there because the WandaVision. Oh my God. Okay. So
WandaVision is gonna be awesome. Oh, I can't wait.
Since none of us have really seen the Mulan trailer, I listened to it.
I listened to the one where I realized they made the bird into a person.
Oh, the
yeah,
Phoenix is a person?
She can
Missed
turn into
that.
there's one where the bird, the evil villain bird, is actually a lady. It looks like she's a major villain too,
Ooh.
which is like cool. It makes me kind of wish they left in the dragon though, but that's fine.
Yeah,
they made choices, and that's
They're gonna make a bird person. They can't leave the dragon in there.
But I can totally understand they're going for more action packed. I totally respect it. I just wish that if you can make the bird a person, that you could have left a tiny dragon for a small. But it's fine.
What I've heard is that they're doing it more traditionally to cater to Chinese audiences, which is why it's not a musical, because apparently that does not go over well with Chinese audiences. They actually don't like musicals, which is really interesting to me. I don't know. I guess I usually feel like music is just across all cultures, but I guess musicals, that's a different thing. So apparently, traditionally around that time, phoenixes would have been the cultural icon rather than dragons. So that's why they made that choice. That's what I've heard. I don't know anything about Chinese culture.
Oh, well, not the phoenix. The falcon is a person. His falcon, the evil guy's falcon, can turn into a woman, and she's a witch.
I really need to watch these.
Yeah. So I guess I have seen it in probably.
That's probably the first one at least.
Where I was
that's
like,
one of them.
where I was like, okay, that definitely makes sense for the vibe they're going. They're definitely going more serious, especially if it's not a musical. Like, I totally understand the reasons. I just will mention. Oh man,
I know.
Tiny dragon. I'm gonna miss him.
I'm gonna miss Mushu. He was definitely one of the best Disney companions that there has been.
But it looks like it's still gonna be pretty cool, and like I'm excited for it, and so I'm interested to see this new Falcon witch lady, because it almost looks like it. They aren't necessarily showing it like that, but there's a possibility where she could even be the main villain.
Ooh.
That just it hints at it, because she seems to have more lines than they showed the dude. And I'm wondering that once you watch the movie, if she's the one actually at the head of it.
That would be kind of more of a foil, I think.
So that's a possibility.
Interesting, yeah.
Would make sense.
I can't believe everything seems to be coming out next month. I'm like, the time is just flying by.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm so hyped. So I think isn't Onward coming out next month? Can somebody confirm? I don't know.
I think so. Pretty soon.
It's pretty soon. I'm so excited.
I just saw the trailer again the other day, and I can't remember the date, but it had it at the end, and I forgot now. So I'm useless on this one.
Either March or May, I don't remember, but I like it. Anyway, it's coming up, and I'm super excited about that one too. Mermaids! Wear a mermaid necklace. Harley's like, yeah.
Mermaids. Hey, I got no problem with mermaids.
Yeah, no, I know everybody's a fan of mermaids, right? I'm very close to them. It's the sirens you got to watch out for.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So
they literally want to kill me, so not cool.
Specifically.
Yeah, you specifically. We could or could not be fine. It depends.
Yeah,
we
just 50-50 with you guys. Me, I'm gone.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you know what? We would protect you with our mermaid powers.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're gonna be safe with us, man. Yeah. He's totally a person.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah. So basically, okay. So if there's a way for us to talk about mermaids, we will find it. Just letting y'all know right now.
Generally.
Yes. So about the other Super Bowl commercials that personally interested me, I saw a snippet of the Jason Momoa one. Oh my God.
That was body horror so much.
I just saw a couple seconds of it, and I was like, nope.
I hate this.
Nope, I hate everything about this. This is horrible. Nope. Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh, Lord.
I know this is why you did it, but stop it.
It is funny conceptually, horrifying in practice.
Yeah.
Like,
that head does not fit that body.
No.
It's not the really unattractive look. It's the fact that head does not fit that body.
Yeah, it's uncanny valley.
He made I know on his Instagram he posted a few other ones that were similar where he was being dorky, and I actually love those because it felt like, I don't know how much say he got in some of the weirdness, but it almost feels like they talked to him about it. For something about with his personality, it feels like the dorkiness of him was translated. Either they made it really well to fit him, or they gave him some say in the creativity. He seemed very
comfortable.
He really did.
In the weirdness.
It was some of the most comfortable, smooth acting I've seen with him in it, kind of. It was just I felt like you really something was especially catered to you, either through you actually being a part of the creative process or them thinking of you specifically for these.
Yes, like this is just, you just walked on set, didn't you? You just started doing things.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, very, very fun to see that happen. Definitely never want to see Aquaman in that position ever again. So taking off muscles. So much. So any thoughts on the Marvel previews? Did you get to see them?
I didn't get to see them.
No, that's okay. Okay, so it's really cool. So
They
cool.
all really good. I'm most excited for WandaVision, really. Weirdly, I thought I would be more hyped for. I'm still hyped for Winter Soldier and Falcon, but
yeah, of course.
I'm down for the weirdness of WandaVision. That's my thing. Loki, I'm sure is gonna be fine. I've had enough of Loki, but it's gonna be cool. I'm sure. So I'll see it.
That is a hot, spicy hot take. Most people are like, yes,
I feel like Loki's had his time, man. We all love the guy. Let him retire. Let him go.
Yeah, just move on. I got you. I'm actually pretty excited about the Loki series. I'm most excited about WandaVision. So do you know what WandaVision's about? I can explain for the viewers.
I only know about the Loki one because I'm giving him a little series, the one who got away with the Tesseract in that one timeline. So I don't know what's the Wanda one about. So
the WandaVision one is where so Wanda in the comics has reality warping abilities. Yeah. And so in this series, essentially it's going through her fantasy of living out her her fantasies of being with Vision. And it's really interesting because it's like a TV sitcom, but it's going through like different decades, different eras of TV sitcoms.
I think I've seen a picture of that. Like where it shows
from black and white. Yeah.
It's super cool. So she's is like a coping mechanism for her
basically,
kind of.
Basically. I mean, it's but she has the ability to actually change reality. So they might be tapping into that in this series because they didn't really explore it much in movies. So
it was really just force powers that they gave her.
Yeah, pretty much just like, and red beams.
Yeah.
So it worked.
Red energy.
Get rid of a lot of threat if they let her go full.
Yeah.
She would have won the fight. She would have won all the fights.
She would have snapped without a gauntlet. She would just be like, in reality.
And I have the glove now. We're done.
You're done.
Well, you're all dead.
Yeah. Fantastic. I love her. People were going crazy because they did see a glimpse of her traditional costume in the trailer, which I think is really adorable. Yeah. So cute.
Of course, we get glimpses of the twins, their kids, like the twin beds and everything, the little ornaments on not ornaments, but the little things on the magnets on the refrigerator and stuff. So,
yeah. It's adorable. Yeah, no, in the comics, she actually manipulates reality so that she and Vision can have kids so she makes herself pregnant, basically.
Oh, yeah. She's so overpowered.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Lord.
Yeah, she creates life with her powers. So, yep. That's Wanda.
It wiped out all of mutants, then they got brought back.
Yeah.
Curb stomped the mutant race.
Yeah, she did a lot of things. She was not always a good person. She's Magneto's daughter. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far and all that. I'm most excited about that one because I also love vintage things, and so that plus superheroes. Oh my god, yes, please more of that. That sounds amazing. Also, I just love those characters. So, yes,
you get to hang out with them, the better. They're cool. So.
Yes, they're family. They're a family.
And it seems to be based a lot around Tom King's Vision series, which is basically kind of that. Seems like they're merging the two, like her when Scarlet Witch was, like you were saying, going through her warping reality and mixing it with. If you don't know, there's a comic series by Tom King where Vision has a family. And it's really good. You should read it if you want to check that out. Like to get an idea.
Vision hurts my heart with how sweet he is. I love him so much.
Him just walking around in sweaters. It's always cool. Yeah. Distinguished android.
That is so precious. I love him so much. I can't wait to see it. I'm a little concerned for Wanda, but we'll figure out what happens to her. So We shall stay tuned. So any other thoughts on Super Bowl trailers? I would love to ask you guys your opinion on the halftime show because it got a controversy around it, but I don't know if that's really geeky related. it's musically related.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about it? Go ahead. It's in the zeitgeist. We might as well.
I mean, I know some of it, but I know that I loved it because I know that they did things with it. Like there was a certain. I even ended up talking to Michael because I pointed out some of the important stuff and like the reasoning behind certain actions. So, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
They gave him a new appreciation for it, so that was really cool. And I liked what they did.
It was so cool. Yeah, they snuck a protest in there a couple times.
I love that.
It was really cool. Absolutely. Do you have any thoughts, Paladin Harley? I just don't want to interrupt anybody, so I'm gonna save my opinion for last.
Hot take. I'll take any halftime performance that sneaks in a little bit of an FU to certain people. So I'm great with that.
Absolutely.
They went like real hard. I feel like the one that really stuck out to me was the cages. The kids.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? Do you see the cages?
And Shakira had a rope that she danced with. That was part of the symbolism. Captivity. Very, very, very cool. I friggin' loved it. I loved all the representation of Latina culture. I genuinely, I'm going to go ahead. I haven't seen very many halftime shows because I don't have a whole lot of interest in them, but this is right up there for me with Lady Gaga's performance. Those are my top two favorite halftime shows that I have actually watched. Is this one and Lady Gaga's, because Lady Gaga is she's on a whole different level in terms of performance. She is gifted by the Lord. Like I don't know how else to explain it. But
she knows how to put on a show, that's for sure.
She knows how to put on a show, and she genuinely just all she has to do is show up and play the piano and sing, and that's, she didn't even need all the flashy stuff. But
you're gonna get something.
It was really incredible. But yeah, I loved J-Lo and Shakira, just seeing those two icons together. Oh, Queens, Las Reinas together. That was so friggin' cool. Oh my God, I loved it. So the controversy, of course, being that they were too scandalous. They were scantily clad, and they were being too sexual on stage. And so a bunch of white people, I presume,
Maroon 5 was completely shirtless, wasn't he?
He was completely shirtless and showed more skin than either of them.
Yeah. Weren't they wearing, I feel like they were wearing pantyhose,
They were wearing bodysuits. J-Lo was wearing a bodysuit at least. Shakira was just wearing a two-piece dress. I mean, and long boots. She was dressed like her Zootopia character.
I love that.
I love that so much.
I was gonna, that's what I was gonna point out.
It's like, we see you. We see you.
We stand.
Appreciate you.
We stand. Oh my God, that was amazing.
She's awesome.
She's incredible. I love Shakira so much. And she belly danced because that's her culture. Yeah. She's half Egyptian. She's half Egyptian, so that's part of her culture. And she river danced. She did a lot of things. She did white people dances. You know what I mean? Like she did all sorts of things. River dancing is one of the most chaste dances I think that mankind has invented. And she did that. She did all sorts of different dances because she incorporates international dance. She did African dance. She did all sorts of different dances. Salsa, everything. I mean, it's not just, she didn't just do any sort of sensual dance. Also, to me, I personally feel that people tend to stereotype Latina culture and anything that Latina women do as more sexual than someone else doing it. It's frustrating. Yeah.
It's like, dumb. Let's just say it. It's dumb. Like
it is. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. So J-Lo did a pole dance, but that's because, I don't know if you know this, she did a whole heck ton of work to prepare for the role that she had in Hustlers, which was about strippers. And yes, she did all of her own work on that movie. So she's like, I did all this work. I'm going to use it. I know I'm good at this. I'm going to do it for the Super Bowl. And she did it. And cool. She didn't strip. Well, she pole dance, which doesn't
already got the skills, might as well put them to use.
Exactly. She learned a really incredibly, I mean, that takes a lot of muscle core strength and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. She put that to work. That's the only thing that I could objectively see as being more sexual. Everything else was just them dancing.
Yeah.
So, and she didn't.
They're attractive women.
That's their sin.
Wow. Attractive women danced on a stage. So controversial.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Harley. What did you say?
I said two attractive women who performed on stage. So such a terrible thing for children to see. You know, not 200-pound people slamming into each other, causing concussions. But you know, who cares?
Right. And exactly. No, the thing is, it's like, I'm sorry, but like, whose kids are watching the Super Bowl? What kids are interested in football? I'm sorry. If they're like, I get it sometimes, yes, but like they wouldn't know what's going on most of the time. They would just be sitting next to you, you know what I mean? And just basically playing with Legos or something. And yeah, then at that point, you know what the halftime show usually has. It has adults entertaining adults.
Yeah.
What do you think? This isn't a kid's show. Like, they were dancing. They were just dancing. They were dancing. And not only that, let me go ahead and
they were dancing in their clothes.
The Super Bowl cheerleaders, anyone? They're usually clad just as much or as little clothing.
As little. They wear crop top. There's nothing wrong with them either, but they wear crop tops.
Nothing wrong with that
skirts, and they've been there for so long.
Nobody complains about them. I'm just saying.
Don't even get me started on my hot take on sports culture.
Oh my God! Right?
Yes. There are a lot of sports I like, but I don't like sports culture at all. I hate the hypocrisy of sports culture. We're gonna do all these things, but we don't want you to be political, but we politicize it. It's like you can't have both. Sorry,
Exactly. No, and not only that, if you notice the pattern, anytime that there's been an outrage about a halftime show, it's about a woman of color or women of color. Just happening.
Yeah.
The same way everyone else does, but oh no.
Yeah.
that's
last year. Well, think about last year was what Adam Levine and Maroon 5, and all that happened with that was he just got made fun of for a day. Nobody gave a crap. But two women go on stage and perform. But
that was it. Because he was shirtless because he wanted to show off his tattoos. He was really proud of his tattoos. And people were like, your tattoos suck, or whatever, like whatever they said, which I think is rude.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm pretty sure they were like actually like not cool, or some there were like some things that he has tattooed on him that are like probably you shouldn't be showing that or whatever. I don't remember, but that's what I heard. I would have to actually look to form my own opinion. But that was the controversy. Was just people telling him, hey, you shouldn't be proud of those, or whatever. Like. Okay.
That was the most controversy he got was like people didn't like his tattoos, I guess, and some people thought he sucked in the halftime show. That's it. That's the only criticisms he got.
That's so crazy. Oh my God! It completely took away from the fact that we actually had the first female coach at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We actually had the first female coach at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And also the Demi Lovato got to sing the national anthem.
Saw that too. Yeah.
That was really incredible.
She went through a long
controversy.
Yeah. But I've seen people like posting and try to lifting them back up.
Good.
In regard to that.
Yeah, it's
really
like
nice.
Forget about this nonsense. Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Focus on you.
Exactly. That was so stupid. Like, we might as well just not get a halftime show. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Gonna be real. It's just every year. It's nothing. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys a little story about Warcraft 3.
Okay.
So please do. Because I am blind to this one. Fill me in.
So Warcraft 3, Blizzard actually committed false advertising because they were going to essentially launch an updated version of Warcraft 3, and that's how they advertised it. Updated graphics. They even showed a trailer that was completely redone with up-to-date CGI. It wasn't even that much better, to be honest, but anyway. But it was actually a cinematic instead of just like, here's your game. You've got the bird's eye view of your characters and they're talking with speech bubbles. Yeah, like it was updated and all of this. And they showed that at, I think it was BlizzCon. That's where they show their stuff, right? And so all that stuff happened. Players were hyped. They were super excited. Now Warcraft Reforged, which is what it's called, is now being called by the community Warcraft Refunded.
Oh.
Everybody wants a refund. Blizzard has been, because it's not what they promised. It's like, yes, they have updated HD graphics, but none of the cinematics are there. They actually didn't make any cinematics. That was just for the trailer that they just made for BlizzCon. It was falsely advertised. They actually took away a lot of things from the game that people really enjoyed, and players were really complaining about that. They also they made it so that you can't play the original Warcraft 3 anymore. You have to, like, essentially it updates automatically to this new one. So it's a remake, not a remastering. So, or whatever it is. It's not a new version, it's just a remake, basically, of Warcraft 3. And so it's really frustrating. People have actually gone so far as on Metacritic, they have been upvoting and rating up other games just so that they can artificially lower Warcraft 3.
No, they have really brought the anger out.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So Blizzard then issued an apology, which basically accounted to, we're sorry you feel this way. Basically not an apology. So yeah, players are really
Don't
really
even say sorry. Just say, if you're not going to apologize, but you're trying to show consideration, use like, I empathize.
Yeah.
If you're really going to say so.
Yeah.
It's not that straight.
Blizzard empathize.
Yeah. Don't use sorry if you're not sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick a different.
There's just this whole thing. It's like, it's pretty gosh darn bad. And so it was just this huge fiasco that I thought you guys would get a kick out of hearing about, because the gaming community is up in arms about it. Not the entire community, but we all kind of know about it now. You know, it's just sort of like, oh my god, another Fallout 76 fiasco. It's just like another train wreck. So,
and World of Warcraft is an elder of the gaming industry in general.
They have a master fan base. Yeah. So, and especially like Warcraft 3, I think is fairly beloved, which is why they wanted to do this reissue of it. Yeah. So whoops. So anyway. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a big oof on their part. So that's that news. So the final thing that I wanted to talk about, and I think we are probably going to take all of the time that we have left to talk about it, because it is very controversial. I don't know how much you guys have heard about this case, if you've heard everything, if you've listened to the audio clips, but we are going to talk about the Amber Heard being replaced as Mera. Whether you guys think that that's a good idea, whether she should be, whether she shouldn't be, do you guys, what your thoughts are on this case, basically?
I would very much like that.
Yeah.
Agree.
They replace people so often for
all the time
reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't make a difference. Some of them are just, I really don't understand. And they'll replace even the whole character sometimes. And that'll be fine.
Right.
Sure, it's been in lesser movies like Transformers. I remember that was the weirdest one for me. That, like, usually doesn't stand out too much if they just replace an actor to be a different character. It's like, it's fine as long as it continues the story. I'll get by.
Yeah.
And with the telltale red hair, all they have to do is give the person a good wig and pick a good actress, and I don't see the issue. But, like, I remember in Transformers something or other, they completely, because Megan Fox did something, I forget who was bad in that situation.
It was definitely not Megan Fox.
Okay.
It was not Megan Fox.
Okay.
I'm on team Megan Fox on that one.
Oh, yeah.
It was hard to tell which is which, because so there were things that maybe she said something anti-Semitic, but then there was things that something else happened.
Michael Bay she called Michael Bay like Hitler, is what she said. He was like Hitler to work with. And then he didn't like that. So so he fired her. So anyway, that was what happened basically.
Okay. Yeah. But I remember they replaced her, and not only just replaced her, they replaced her with this random woman, which I think that was the only time a replacement has ever actually jarred me, because in the movie previous, literally she brought him back to life.
Yeah.
Like he survived because he wanted to be with her.
Yeah.
And suddenly in the next movie he's with some random model.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even pick a new actress. That was a mistake, I feel like. It's not a great movie series because it really just went off the rails with the action and stuff. But she was in a white outfit and get dirty at any point, even though she went through a building falling over. I could we're not
several buildings.
Jesus, sweet Lord.
She also, let's no shade, I'm sorry, but like she also was Megan Fox was a better actress. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I'm just
way better.
I'm not really a fan. But like we're not about that. Anyway, but as long as it's still Mera, I'd be cool with it, especially just because what she did. I haven't even heard all the things she did.
Yeah.
All I know is that there's 100% like recordings.
I'm sorry.
I made that joke in my head earlier. It's okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Of recordings of her having done that, and the fact that she had accused him.
Oh my god.
That's the false accusation. Like there's something extra disgusting of like using a movement and then and it's like because as people are being heard, the one drawback is there are some people who actually are it makes me sick. And by all means, maybe replace her. Because I didn't even really like her in the role that much, honestly. Like I didn't feel
she was pretty bland.
I didn't feel
like they can find a just as good or if not better Mera.
I thought they find better easily.
Not hard at all.
Is that I'm sorry, she's not the best actress ever. She's fine, I guess. She's average. And the thing is, though, she's really, really pretty. And that's the problem, is that people give her the benefit of the doubt, too, because she's very pretty. That's the problem. You know, that's honestly, she's a woman. She came out with this stuff during the Me Too movement, right at its crux, right when it was really catching fire.
Yeah.
And so all of this was coming out at the perfect time for someone to make these allegations and get away with it, right? I mean, like she manipulated a genuine movement for survivors just to get money, which she then had to donate to charity, and she was not happy about that, you can very much tell. Anyway, she was also late delivering that money. I'm pretty sure her publicist probably made her do that, and she still maintains these same lies. And honestly, I was willing to believe at first. Obviously, I was on the side of, okay, well, you know what? That sucks. Johnny Depp, I guess, was, secretly a crazy person. I didn't know that. Because we all saw that clip originally that surfaced that really caught wind, right? And made everybody think that she was innocent and that she was a victim, right? And we saw the pictures of her bruises, etc., which we now know she probably did actually paint on. It's really despicable, but it's true. And this does, unfortunately, the worst part about this is that it makes it harder for other victims, real genuine victims of domestic violence to come forward with their cases now. This is a huge, high-profile case.
The only good thing the only good thing I can see is just that people are being like listen to male victims as well. So that's a good point at the very absolute very least, because there is also male victims, and it's always good to remember all the victims. Don't ever get so into one point that it means casting aside another type of victim.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can defend all genuine victims.
No, and the worst
and them all.
And the worst part about this is that like she had a history. I don't know if you know this, but she was with a woman before.
Oh,
her partner before Johnny was a woman, and she was arrested for beating her. Yeah, she had a history of this. She had a history of domestic abuse, of being the perpetrator of domestic violence. If that had come out sooner, if her police report had come out sooner, which normally it does in situations like this, I feel like there were some strings being pulled or something behind the scenes. Normally that comes out in cases like these, but no, like that didn't come out until very recently. I've been finally seeing it circulate. But yeah, she abused her domestic partner, and went to jail, has mugshots. You know, I mean, she was arrested for that reason. You know, she's insane. She's a crazy person. I actually, at first, I believed, you know, okay, I guess, you know, usually most of the time, if an allegation of abuse is made, most of the time it's not false. Most of the time. Most of the time you can safely believe the victim, and it is good to just kind of give the victim the benefit of the doubt and go with that. You know, that's the safer route to go with first, right? Until more evidence comes forward and you can be sure, right? Because most of the time the victim is telling the truth, you know? Only a crazy person would do this, you know?
Exactly.
And so the thing is, at first I believed her, and then I was like, okay, well, it sounds like maybe both of them were doing stuff to each other, and that's not cool. But then the more I heard, the more I listened to the audio, oh my God, the more I listened to the audio, the more I've heard of their interactions, it's so obvious that he, honestly, I wouldn't doubt if he never laid a finger on her. I think he's pushed her, not cool, yeah, of course, but if you're self-defense,
like if you're defending yourself from someone, you should be able to fight back. I
yes,
don't care what gender you are. If you feel you're in danger, you should be able to be like, well, I mean, I tried.
Yes, and she almost killed him 3 times from Martha. Yeah. Dear Lord.
That picture. I don't think I could listen to audio because I feel like that would be really upsetting
I've
for me
listened
to hear.
to it. I've listened to the most.
I saw just a picture of that, and I'm like,
no, it wasn't an audio of the incident. It's just an audio. The audio is like the first clip that just recently surfaced was from 2015, actually, when all of this was first going down, and then the Me Too movement was really picking up speed, and then that's when it came out in 2016.
oh, we lost
No, we're good.
Here for a sec.
Yeah, it's cool. You're good. Just some phone exercises.
Phone decided to take a flight.
It's cool. So then in 2016, that's when it all started really coming out. The video surfaced, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it turns out there's like more clips. That clip was of them interacting and just discussing things, and she literally admits to hitting him. I mean, and she's gaslighting him the whole time. She's downplaying it that she did hit him, but she didn't punch him. That's what she's literally trying to defend. Is the semantics. It's like, who cares? You psycho! You hit someone! Oh my God! And then he's trying to be like, don't tell me what it feels like to be punched, because he's been in fights before.
Yeah.
You know? And also, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She hit him, and he did not fight back. He probably pushed her to try to get her away.
Yeah.
But he literally was across the room when she first made an allegation, shouting, "Stop hitting me, Johnny!" And then there were I think there was security nearby who heard it and then came in, and she had all of her witnesses are friends of hers, so they're, you know, more than willing to just vouch for her, whatever the heck she says. But her key witness especially has lied for her and perjured themselves before. I say them because they're gender fluid and I don't know which is their preferred pronoun right now.
Yeah.
So their key witness has actually perjured themselves, because if you look into what they said they were doing at the time and then look at their Instagram, they were not where they said they were under oath. Yeah. So they've actually perjured themselves, which is a crime. So anyway, it's just a huge mess, and I 100% agree with replacing her as Mera. I don't even think she's that great. I actually think she was one of the weaker points of the movie. So
I don't know how angry she was supposed to come off, but she just came off angry and annoyed all the time.
That's probably because that's how she actually is in real life.
Yeah, I noticed that when I saw her interviews.
To be honest, she only plays angry characters. Like everything I've seen her in, she's kind of been,
yeah.
Which not a happy character actor at all. So
no, and by the way, that's the easiest emotion to act. I'm just saying that genuinely is.
Comes from somewhere. So
just, yeah, especially if you already have anger issues. For God's sakes, she needs to get some serious help, and she needs to be behind bars when she's getting it, because she's genuinely dangerous. Like I would love to know if she interacts with everyone in a similar fashion, or if it's just the people that she's partnered with. I don't actually know. But yeah. Anyway, so do you guys think that okay, if you'd like, I can show you the audio later, but we don't have to do that. It's just totally up to you. It's basically them having a conversation, and it's just very clear that she's gaslighting him the whole time.
I think I'm going to be reminded of someone
Certain
that I
people.
already know that I just don't think I want to hear that type of
That's okay.
personality. I feel like I've already heard it before.
Understandable.
Oh,
I'll probably link though down below to some of the videos where I felt like their research was very in depth and pretty objective. I might add some links so that the viewers at home can make up their own opinions. Unfortunately, this is all public. I do also feel really bad for them, for Johnny, for Johnny, that all of this had to come public. But I do like that now it's at least, since it was made public, the falsehood was made public, now the truth is coming to light, and I really do like that, and I think evidence should be brought to light. I will go ahead and add, there was that one guy that I knew on Facebook personally, and I'm sure he's not the only one making this argument, that she should be kept as Mera because petitions like this are fueling cancel culture, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, sorry.
I saw that comment.
No offense to that guy.
I had to step away. I was like, I better not comment. I'll get thrown off Facebook.
You saw it? Oh my God.
I was in that conversation. I chose to remain silent because I was like, I'm going to say something not nice to this person. I can't be civil right now. So I might as well just step back. You guys handled it well. So you were much more civil than I would have been. So
Thank you.
and it was your page. I was like, nope.
That's really sweet. Yeah, a couple of my friends who were women, they were like, excuse you.
Yeah.
They were very, very upset. Understandably, this is a really sensitive issue. It's not about just comic books. It's not about just your favorite character.
Not about your fandom, bro.
One funny thing I've seen is just sometimes like, oh, you feminists should be angry. Every feminist I've seen is angry.
Yes.
We are. Don't worry. We're not like the dude bros who are like, do a thing and then don't actually defend it when that problem is up. The ladies I've seen, they are just as mad, and they will. It's usually other dudes that I've seen the most try to turn it any other way, usually. Feminists I've seen are just like, hey, this Johnny's a victim then? All right. The victim then.
Yeah.
Whoops, we believe her over him. So.
What was that, Harley? I'm sorry.
I said most people seem to realize I can admit myself, I didn't want to believe it when it came out, but I was like, well, there's a chance it's true. So I kind of chose to be like, I personally thought, I was like, these two clearly have a toxic relationship and they're both not good. So they probably both did some things. So I just kind of was like, that's their I don't want to get in the middle of that. So I don't have the right to have an opinion really about their personal lives other when stuff like this comes out, I can have an opinion about it. But I just feel bad for all of his friends that were defending him and everybody who turned on them. Other actors, other directors who are like, we've known Johnny Depp for 20, 30 years. He's been a gentleman, Feel bad for his daughter who has to go every day and see, a working actress who, that must suck.
He mentioned his kid has to go to school. I don't know if it's a daughter or son. I genuinely don't know that much about Johnny Depp's personal life. I don't know if he has 2 kids, 3 kids, whatever, but
I think he has 2. I could be wrong. He has a, I think she's 19, 20 maybe. She was in a movie with Kevin Smith, so that's how I knew about her.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Smith's daughter did a movie together that I saw, so I was like, that's how I know who she is. But I do think he has at least 2, as far as I know. I could be wrong about that.
His younger child, I think it's a son. He mentioned him in that recent audio clip that I listened to, where he's trying to reasonably ask Amber, is like, can we not go to court, because I think that it's going to be really bad for you and I love you. He genuinely still loves her. It's really sad. So he was like, he was saying all of this, and then she was just doubling down, and she really seems to believe her own lies now. Seems to, emphasis on seems to. She's a manipulator, okay, on the recording. But then he said, how do you think I feel? My kid has to suffer for this because, everyone at his school is calling his dad a wife beater, and all of this. And so Yeah, like he mentioned that, like it really has tarnished every aspect of his reputation and even really damaged his family, emotionally. Imagine the friggin' trauma of seeing the entire world call your parent that, like yikes. Horrifying. So yeah, she's really I genuinely have not
a great person, apparently.
She's pure evil. I haven't seen someone so pure evil in a while. I really, it's kind of impressive. I'm like, how did she? But I mean, I think this isn't an excuse, but it is an explanation. I think her father also has a really bad temper because whenever something happened, he did threaten to kill Johnny Depp with a shotgun or something. Pretty sure she's Texan, and so they're very about guns.
Gosh, dang it!
Yeah.
We know Texans and their guns, so
yeah, making us look bad over there. Yeah, we can have some kooks down here, but thankfully they're usually in West Texas. No, no shade. I'm just kidding. We're out in the desert in the boonies. Anyway, they're just angry they don't have water. Yeah. So, any final thoughts about the issue at hand, about replacing characters, about that specific comment about cancel culture? I do think sometimes cancel culture is a bad thing, but it's not relevant here. It's not there's actual evidence now. Like 100%, here's their voices, here's what happened. She literally admitted to that. She literally admitted it multiple times. And it's just simply, it's not trying to erase, like trying to go back and erase the movie.
They're not digitally taking out of the movie. They just want to replace it for the sequel. It's not that hard a concept to get around.
Find a new actress, and that's
it
fine.
Worked for the MCU. I don't know why it can't work here.
Exactly. I use that same example.
How many characters got replaced? Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4.
Yeah, a different Hulk specifically. That's a big one. He's one of the major ones. They can do that. They can do it with this. Exactly. Especially when it would probably only better the movie because again, it was more just like for entertainment. Pretty sure everyone knew Jason Momoa carried that film. Oh, on his back.
Listen, nobody was there for Mera. I'm sorry. Like it's not called Mera in Aquaman. It's Aquaman.
It's Aquaman, and I mean honestly, I'm still hyped for Aquaman 2. I know they're going to do a great job with it, but I would not want to support it personally if she's in it. Yeah, gonna go ahead and go as far as to say that. Yeah, I would feel really gross about buying a ticket to that. And they replace people for certain things for much less. Like that one director who did something, and like then the whole. I feel like what did James Gunn? I think so, yeah. But David Batista, he defended him real well. Like, nope, this isn't a good enough reason to do this. Yeah. And so this being an actual good reason, why not? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But some people still to this day debate whether James Gunn should have or should have not been handed back to Keystone Guardians of the Galaxy because I agree that he should have. They weren't cool jokes. He apologized. Let's move on. That is an example of cancel culture.
It was jokes he made a decade ago. He already had apologized for when the controversy came out the first time. When he was going to make Guardians 1, it came out. It doesn't exactly look great either that it's a very conservative leaning group that leaks the tweets because they got mad because he's suddenly
Yes. Sorry to interrupt you. I got heated.
We're on the same track there, so yeah. It was very clear why those tweets came up again. Certain group doesn't like that he's gotten more liberal over the years. So what did they do? They ruined his chance to make a superhero movie, or almost ruined it. Now he's making 2 more from both companies.
He actually just got blessed because he just got Suicide Squad, and he just ended up, coming out on top for that. Thank God. But
he won. And he won in the end.
And he did it in the classiest way possible. He very graciously and humbly walked away from the role when he was asked to leave. He didn't make a fuss. He could have, but he didn't. And I think that was also true to his character. And the actors that worked with him even said as much in their letter. Addressed the public about the whole thing. So I thought that was really good. But yes, that was a good example of cancel culture. Yeah. This is not cancel culture. This is an employee, potentially, because we still don't know how Warner Brothers is going to respond to this. But this is an employee, hopefully, doing the right thing and firing someone that they see doing something reprehensible, even outside of the workplace. If your employee beats someone or hurt someone or rapes someone, do something that reprehensible, they're going to be fired if it gets out. If the employer finds out about it, which they have, they should be fired for it because they're representing their company. That's the thing. It's just, even if it's just from a business standpoint, they're representing the company, and the company does not want to be represented that way. That's it. It's not about cancel culture. Get over it. Anyway.
Listen, when the studio figures out they're gonna lose money on if they keep her around, she's gone.
Oh yeah, like that. So yeah, I agree. I think that you guys have made some fantastic points. Finger gun for that. So is there anything else that you guys wanted to add? Anything else that you wanted to mention, or are we ready?
I think I'm off the head.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for watching. If you liked this video, please remember to leave a like. Feel free to comment what you think about all of these situations. The Super Bowl, that controversy, Amber Heard controversy, all of this stuff going around with her and Johnny and the role of Mera. Please feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions down below, even if they differ from ours. We want to hear from you guys, seriously. And if you'd like to become knighted in our medieval army, please feel free to stab that subscribe button with whatever weapon you choose. Just be sure to be careful of your delicate screen.
It's your life.
It's your life. If you're looking for a new phone anyway, this is a fantastic excuse. It's just that it got stabbed. That's a great story to tell to your phone provider. So thank you guys again for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.